Seven.
Aria's turn.
What's in the back? That's hard too.
Yeah, what are those?
Yeah. In the very beginning, we kind of hit the internet.
Yeah.
There was just so much information, so many different people telling us, well, not telling us specifically, but saying you should do things this way or you should do things that way.
And when she was around 2.5, she suddenly started acting differently, and we assumed it was terrible twos or something like that. As clueless as we were, that she wasn't paying attention when it turned out she wasn't hearing, of course.
It was kind of a shock, it definitely was. And it was hard to, think that he was going to be a normal child. But we definitely dove into educating ourselves about, what that meant and what he was going to need, and realized that it's just a different road that he was going to have to take to get to the same place, to where he was going.
When our older daughter Emma was identified as being deaf, let's see, that was almost 11 years ago, and I remember it like it was yesterday. We were in this tiny little hot room, and it was after the testing was done, and the audiologist came in, and I saw she was holding a pamphlet that said, "My child is deaf, now what?" So she sat down and she talked to us, and basically didn't give us a whole lot of information. I mean, they gave us some printed information, but didn't even mention the school for the deaf in the area.
We would look at those things for examples, but when it came to the decision what we wanted to do, we felt like we really had to see what we felt was best for Aria.
I remember feeling almost angry because we would read on the internet that we'd have to decide whether we were gonna get hearing aids and an implant, a cochlear implant, and go the oral route, or we were gonna choose ASL as our only and primary means of communication and go that route. And I felt uncomfortable with that. Can't just be the way it is. I want my child to have everything. If she can physically and developmentally, if she's able to access English and she has the motor skills for ASL and the mental and developmental abilities to learn ASL and English, I wanted her to have everything. I didn't want to have to choose. So I'm finding that we don't have to choose. We can teach her both English and ASL, and she can be exposed to both at school and at home, and it's not a hindrance to her. It's helping her.